What's going on, guys? My name's David. I am a medical student. I am also a ultra marathon runner, and I'm sober. Today, I am bringing on Francine, who is a very exciting guest, and I'm very excited to get into some conversation with her. Um, so, Francine, do you want to just tell a little bit about yourself?
I'm Francine. I'm 41 and I live in Toronto, near in Canada. And I recently had DBS surgery for alcoholism last February.
Awesome. And can you talk a little bit more about DBS and what that is?
Well, it's deep brain stimulation. So what they do, I don't know how to like start with it. It's just it's a two-part surgery that puts electrodes into my nucleus accumbens that's attached to a battery, and it just helps with cravings, motivation, decision making. It's helped with my anxiety and depression.
Awesome. And when was that surgery?
February 10th,
February 10th.
2025.
Okay, so it's a brain surgery then.
Yes.
Okay. And specifically like what are they placing in your nucleus accumbens?
Electrodes, there's two. Some people only get one, but I got two.
Okay. And the nucleus accumbens is like pretty deep in your brain, right? It's not just on the
Mhm.
surface of it. Okay. So they have to thread it all the way down there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then how is the electrode like stimulated
Through a battery that's in my chest.
through a battery
So
in your
then there's a cord that goes behind my ear, and then that's attached to the electrodes.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That is amazing stuff. I want to get more into that and ask you specific questions there, but before we get like carried away in all of that, I want to kind of go back and explore a little bit about why you ended up getting that surgery in the first place. And maybe we should even go back to like, you got the surgery for alcoholism addiction and that's the reason why. So maybe talk a little bit about your first drink and when you kind of knew you were an alcoholic.
My first drink, I was 11. I had a shot of whiskey, and I remember really liking it. Then after that, I don't really like, I know I've had drinks here and there, and then I did get to a point that I got alcohol poisoning at somebody's house when I was 13. And then I think since that, like I did start getting help at like an outpatient, like counselor type treatment place. And like I just remember, like I don't really remember any part of my life where I didn't have alcohol after those situations.
Okay. So do you remember like what were the specific feelings associated with like your first drink?
I don't really remember. I just know I liked the taste of it, and I don't know. It's almost
Yeah.
like I just wanted to drink to black out at like that first time when I got alcohol poisoning.
Right, right. So then when did you realize that, you were doing it too much and maybe you experienced like some guilt and shame with it, with your drinking habits? When did you realize it was affecting your life negatively and you needed to get help?
Again, I've always drank. So like I've always known it was a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
And like my
And
family always knew it was a problem. Like it wasn't anything that was hidden.
right, right. So when, I guess maybe a better question is when did you start actively trying to get sober? Like when did that decision come into your head where you're like, maybe I should put this down?
Um, I think when I was about 16 or 17, like I remember going to class and like beer bottles falling out of my bag. Like it was
Oh, wow.
terrible. Mhm.
Wow. Yeah. So you were like, wow. So 16 or 17, you're thinking that, maybe my drinking habits are a little bit abnormal.
Mhm.
And what's like the first step in after that thought? Like, do you take any action to try to get sober? What are you thinking? Do you try to limit your drinking yourself?
I think I just tried everything. But I don't know if limiting it like really was an option. Like I didn't really care.
Right, right. So I guess another question would be, were there any moments before like the DBS surgery that you were sober for a extended period of time?
Before,
Yeah, before you got DBS, was there anything that allowed you to have success with sobriety? Anything that allowed you to put down the drink for a long time?
either when I was in the hospital, any hospitalizations, or I did go to rehab 14 years ago. And I
Okay,
think it took me 5 days of getting out of that to start drinking again. And that was a
okay.
21-day program. So let's say a month.
When you went to the hospital, like I'm assuming the doctors and the staff there was like, you should probably stop drinking. Did you just didn't really listen to that?
Oh, like the hospitalizations or the
Yeah,
surgery?
hospitalizations. Like this is like prior to your surgery. Like when you said that hospitalizations were ways that you were able to get sober for at least a couple days, right?
Yeah, no, they definitely were telling me because they're like, you have liver issues and
Yeah, yeah.
you're just going to keep coming back here over and over and over again. So, which
Right,
I ended up going over and over and over again.
right, right. Did you do any like 12-step stuff during that time, or were you kind of like,
I started doing 12 steps like on and off since I was about 16 or 17. I
okay,
remember going into the rooms. I remember there was this older man who would he knew I was drinking and he just come with me, come to this place with me.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
so I mean I was always like in and out, but I never actually was like following the 12 steps or anything. I
Right,
didn't really understand that part.
right, right. So, So what do you think was kind of holding you back from not using some of those resources, I guess, to really like, it sounds like, your liver wasn't acting right. You're getting invitations to go to 12-step programs. Doctors are telling you you should probably take a look at this. What do you think was like holding you back from not taking that advice?
I just always thought it made me feel really normal.
Yeah,
I always believed I had a chemical imbalance and alcohol was the solution to fix that.
right,
Always.
right. What did like an average day of drinking look like for you back in the day? Was it right off the rip in the morning, or
Like back in the day, like how far back?
I want to say like let's say like during the period of time where you were like getting hospitalized a little bit, your liver was acting up, like what was the normal routine like?
Well, I would say I was drinking daily, starting first thing in the morning from like going back, I don't know how many years ago,
Okay.
or even waking up in the middle of the night drinking.
Okay. And were you like blacking out at that time, or were you kind of just like drinking enough to kind of function and then going to sleep?
Uh, that's a hit or a miss. Like
Yeah,
some days were better than others. So
right. Okay. And so correct me if I'm wrong, but before the so the DBS surgery was really like had the biggest impact in terms of like supporting your sobriety compared to any other resource that you tried up until that
oh,
point.
100%,
100%.
100%.
Okay. Okay.
Like it saved my life. Like I will never thank those doctors enough to for what they
Yeah.
did.
So for people that don't know, DBS surgery in the United States, I'm just gonna restate that because DBS, people aren't gonna know what that is. So, for people that don't know, deep brain stimulation surgery for addiction treatment or alcoholism treatment is not approved in the United States, and this surgery has been done on a very, very limited and select group of patients outside of the United States, and Francine just happens to be one of those patients. So, Francine, can you talk a little bit about how you even got the opportunity to get this specific and unique surgery done on you?
Well, my liver specialist, he knew that I was still drinking. I was lying to him, not realizing he's doing these blood tests and I'm going in with pretty high alcohol levels.
Thinking you were
And like
slick?
he knew I was gonna die. He
Yeah.
knew. And so he put it out there that there was this surgery. And as soon as he told me, I was like, there's something else I can try. And I was so fascinated in it. And so, I mean, it was so the doctors reached out to me. There was a team of three psychiatrists and the neurosurgeon, and then a couple other people in the research team. And it took about a good year of like talking to all these people, making sure I was making the right decision. And so, I mean, it all started at the liver clinic, though.
Right. Are you familiar with how many people have gotten this surgery for specifically for addiction?
Last time for alcohol alone, the last time I heard there was eight, and I was the seventh.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
But they also do it for opiates and different drugs
Right.
as well.
Right. Was there any like debating about specifically where they were gonna put the probe? Did they run any
No.
of that stuff? They knew right off the bat this is where we're gonna place it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I
what
mean,
was
they did a lot of MRIs and all that kind of stuff, and
right,
to know
right.
exactly where the placement should go.
Right, right. What was the feelings around having that surgery done? Actually, before I ask that, was there anything that like was there any kind of restraints before you got the operation? Like I know sometimes when patients get like liver transplants or kidney transplants, it's like you can't drink at all or they're not going to give it to you. Was that the same kind of thing for this, or were they less strict about that?
I had to go to detox for 2 weeks, and they kept checking my blood, and they gave me an iron transfusion and different things to get my platelets up. And so there was a whole bunch of stuff that needed to be done medically before getting it done.
Okay. So they sent you to detox 2 weeks prior to the surgery?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And what were the feelings like going into something like that? Like, was there any nervousness? I mean, dude, we're talking about brain surgery here, so I'm sure there was had to be something or
I honestly was not nervous at all. I thought it
wow.
was fascinating. I was like, this is the answer. Like, I was so excited about it. The only thing that I was nervous about was I was supposed to be awake for it.
What
And
really?
then last minute they said, okay, we're gonna do it while you're asleep. I was like, okay.
Wow. So they were gonna keep you
Everyone else was awake.
wow. So why do you know why they like why would they need to keep you awake for something like that?
I think just to see like your brain waves of where they are and stuff. I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Just so that they know that they're in the exact spot, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm assuming they would have been like asking you questions and stuff during the surgery if you were awake. Like that would be the reason to keep you awake to like ask you questions maybe to make sure you were like okay and everything. That's crazy. So, no nervousness associated with going into it. Can you talk a little bit about, you said it was a two-part surgery. So what part did they do first? What part did they do last?
They did the electroid part first, and then they would do testing. I remember they put the electrodes in, and then after I woke up, they would constantly like I had these things still sticking out of my the side of my neck that were attached to the electrodes, and they could hook it up to a computer and see my brain waves and show me like pictures of alcohol and like doing all this stuff to
Wow, really?
see like where my brain was going with it.
Wow, really? Did they like tell you anything about that info? Like what happened when they showed you a picture of alcohol? Did they see anything?
I'm not sure, but I know that they know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll know more details at the end of the year. But like even in MRI machines, they would like show me pictures, right? Like up to me. And the last time at 6 months, they did it again just to see where my brain was at. And they turned it on and then they turned it off. But they didn't tell me which one was which. And then they showed me all these pictures of alcohol and like to see
Wow.
where my craving was at.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. So, what was the recovery like from a surgery like that?
The head part,
Yeah, the I guess both parts. Like what was like really harder to deal with? Was it when they went into your head or was it when they went into your chest?
definitely the chest.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Hmm.
So when they went into the chest, is that when they can did they thread the wires down during the chest operation or was that did they do that at the end of the probe placement?
I think it was the probe placement because it was sticking out of like my
It was
neck.
sticking out of your neck. Okay, interesting. The one that I saw at school, actually, that wasn't the case. They left the wires kind of tucked in up here, and I only saw the part of the surgery where they put the chest battery in and just connected everything down to it. So that's interesting. I'm sure they had like a reason to do that. Um, Okay,
Hmm.
yeah. So what was like how long were you like in the hospital afterwards?
Well, okay, so I had that first surgery, and then it was 4 days later, then that's when they put the battery in.
Okay.
And then from there, I, I'm going to say it was a good week and a half altogether
Week and a half. Okay.
between both surgeries.
Okay. Okay. So what happened what happened after they put it in and you're being discharged and you're feeling better, you're going home. What was like what were they like telling you from the
Well,
medical
I made
side?
sure before the surgery, because this was one concern that I had, was I didn't have a plan. And I said, what's the point of getting this done if there's no plan?
Right.
Like I need to know what I'm doing. I need to have things like something, right? And
Yeah,
so I
that's
went
that's
back to the
interesting.
detox for another couple weeks and we
Really
sat down, we made a plan. I was going to go back to rehab and I was going to do all this stuff and
nice.
mhm.
Wow. Okay, so after the surgery, you go back to detox for a few weeks. Did you end up going to rehab after that?
I was out for a little bit of detox and then I did get a phone call pretty quickly saying that I could go in um at the end of May. So I got out of detox in, I'm going to say mid March. And then I ended up going to detox at the end of April again, and
Yeah.
then went to rehab from there.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's nice that they kind of set that up for you to kind of get everything else in progress. So before we like move on to like the aftercare after the surgery, I have a bunch of questions to
Mhm.
ask there, but I just want to ask like you're kind of like looking 30,000 feet up, like your whole experience with deep brain stimulation. What is something that you I guess I'll start by asking, do you believe that this operation is not um, given in many parts of the world? Do you believe that it should be an option for patients that are struggling with the same things that you struggled with?
Well, 100%. I would be
100%.
dead right now if I didn't have it done. So
Mm. What do you think is the biggest misconception about deep brain stimulation?
I think just the word like brain surgery scares people. They don't understand, like, it's actually not that difficult. It's not painful. I mean, yes, it's difficult. It's clearly difficult, but I mean, for people that are doing it, obviously they have the training and there's so much new technology now to know exactly where things are being placed and all that kind of stuff that
Right. Huh. So, I guess my next question, I guess you kind of answered that, but I was gonna ask, like if there was one thing that you thought people should know about deep brain stimulation for addiction and alcoholism treatment, what would it be? Would it still be that same answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, specifically, like, like, when did you start? So they do the surgery. I'm assuming they turn the probe on right away, right?
No,
No, really.
they didn't turn it on for I think 2 weeks after.
Oh, wow.
But
Interesting.
it was only very, very, very low. So
Okay.
every 2 weeks, I would go back to the hospital and they would slowly turn it up.
Can you talk about what that process was like and when you started feeling differences in your, I don't even know like what it would affect, I guess like your cravings, your mood. Can you elaborate on
Um,
that?
I definitely noticed the decision making
Okay.
before anything because I remember there was a time and I wasn't like in 12 steps. I wasn't doing anything at this point. It was just whatever was going on with the DBS. And I remember being at home and being like, oh, I should go get a drink. And I sat there and I was like, I actually made the decision not to go and get it. And I was like, this is weird. Like, this is very weird that I'm thinking this way right now. And so clearly it was the DBS.
Wow. Yeah, because have you ever been in a situation like that before in your life where you thought about getting a drink and you actually didn't do it?
No, no.
Yeah.
And so, and I noticed like when it came to any like impulsive behaviors,
Right.
like I could sit and actually think about things before acting on anything.
Right. Right. Hmm. So, do you think that just the cert, like, would you consider yourself cured or what, like, what do you, is cured too strong of a word?
Yeah, I would say it's too strong of a word because I mean, I still need the extra help.
Right.
Like, I mean, I go to 12 steps and I do all that
Okay.
and I still see my doctors and I did do 2 rounds of CBT, alcohol use disorder groups. Like, I mean, I'm actively doing stuff. It's not, I think if I just completely like let this take over everything, then I don't know. I don't know
Right.
how things would be.
Right.
Yeah.
So, question two, like, is it on when you sleep?
Yes.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never touch it.
Wow. Huh. So you've never like tried I wonder what the reasoning behind that. You've never tried to turn it off while you sleep?
I turned it down
Okay.
because sometimes when they turn it up, then I can't sleep for like days. Like I'll like sleep like
Yeah.
3 hours a night.
Right, right.
Or sometimes like if I get like natural dopamine highs and then this thing because it's like affecting my dopamine, I'll get like super like
Yeah, 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 yeah. Wow. Wow. So what were like some of the like did they sit you down and were they like talked about like some of the risks? Like I feel like it might be important for some people to know maybe the potential risks or complications associated with this kind of treatment.
well with me especially because of my liver and like blood issues that I have, like bleeding and then infection, like anything really that a normal surgery would do.
Right, right. So just like
And they
bleeding.
did sit me down and talk about it. And even though I was like still really intoxicated at those points of seeing the doctors, but I made sure I had family or friends or somebody to come with me just to make sure that I was understanding everything.
Yeah, yeah. So, what do you think like the biggest thing what's the biggest thing that the device has done for you so far in your recovery right now?
The biggest thing,
Yeah, like the most beneficial thing.
well, it's giving me my life back
Yeah.
because I don't think I would have gotten sober without it. So,
Yeah, that's powerful. What
mhm.
what do you specifically like attribute that to though? Is it like a mental state? Is it like feeling just like more okay with yourself? Is it feeling better at baseline? Or is it just like has it been like a change in perspective? Is it more of like a spiritual thing? Are you more open-minded to the other treatment options now that you have this in? Like, Are you able to articulate that at all?
Um, I don't know, just everything. Like, I mean, just even the motivation to do things and try new things and without all this anxiety that I used to have. And I do believe this has taken away a lot of my anxiety.
Yeah.
Um, and so just, I mean, just going out there and just living and
Yeah.
definitely spiritually, like I thank God every single day that I was
Was
given this opportunity.
yeah. Was like religion and God and spirituality, was that something that you had prior to the surgery, or was that something that you developed after the surgery?
I would say more after.
Okay.
There has been times in my life where I have been spiritual, but I kind of lost all sight of that before.
Right. So this has kind of made you open-minded to a spiritual approach in terms of handling your life and handling your alcoholism and addiction, you'd say?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, let me go to my list here. What's your experience like with this device and being in 12-step programs?
Um, it's kind of hard to say. I just because I feel like a lot of people don't understand it. Like sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, I got this surgery done and I got these things put in my head," and they look at me like I got five heads. Or some people
Yeah,
are really interested in it
right,
and like it as like an option for some people, right?
right. So there's kind of like some misunderstanding there.
Well, I mean, it's something that's difficult to understand. So,
Right. And it's very new too.
mhm.
And invasive. It's an invasive thing and you know.
See, I don't look
Um
at it like it's an invasive surgery at all. I don't
yeah.
know why.
It's I guess it depends like who you ask because like I'm sure if you ask the neurosurgeon if it was invasive or not, he would probably say no because it's just like a very they just need to
Mhm.
the electrode is like almost like it's very thin and they just like
Mhm.
they just thread it down there and it's honestly like a lot of it is like are the most of the surgery from my understanding is basically already done in the pre-surgical scanning because they scan so much to know exactly where they're going
Mhm.
to place it. They get all the coordinates set up to the point where like they just need to do a tiny craniotomy and just kind of send it down there to the appropriate coordinates and then like that's basically it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I guess it does kind of depend who you ask. Um, I guess why I say that is
Yeah.
just because like if you tell somebody you had brain surgery, then like they're automatically like gonna think that. What do you think that do you have similar experience with like the people that you were talking to in the hospital about your alcoholism and things like that? Was there a similar was there any misunderstanding there?
I think some of the doctors may think like some people can still drink
Yeah.
once in a while. I
Yeah.
know there has been studies done where some people like still have a couple drinks, but with me and my liver, it's not even an option. So,
Right, right. Did they tell you that? Like were they clear about, you shouldn't continue to drink after this because like your liver and stuff like that, or how did that conversation go?
yeah, no, they know that now. Yeah.
They know that now. Okay. What do you think
Mhm.
like what how do you so it just sounds like there was like a lot of you know conflicting things from both sides. Like I can imagine that it's, kind of hard to be like it's just got to be really hard to like be the patient getting this surgery that's relatively new, right? And you already had like the liver thing going on. There was probably just like a lot going on for you, and I can't imagine what that's like. Um, and then on top of that, it's like, you have people in 12-step programs over here, and then you have your doctors over here. And it seems like there was like not like a lot of like fluid, what do I want to say? Like agreements and like understanding is maybe the better word, from both of those sides. Like how, if I could ask you to like maybe talk about like how that, I don't know if you would call that stigma or like just misunderstanding, but I guess like I want to ask how you think that that could be improved in the future for patients that are considering getting this surgery.
Um, I don't know. I don't really have any comment on that.
Okay. Okay. Do you feel
Like,
like
I
there was
mean, sometimes I think like in my head, it's like I'm confused. Sometimes I don't know if it's this thing in my head or if it's just sobriety because having both all at once, it's like, okay, is this normal how I feel or
yeah.
is it not normal? Like, am I too happy? Is it this thing? Like, I don't, I like, I get so confused some days.
Yeah, yeah. I can't imagine that because even just me, like when I went through sobriety, like I've had experienced so many changes, and having something in my head at the same time that all that was going down, I feel like I would also be very confused about that too. Like what's this probe doing versus what like my lifestyle decisions that are very different doing to me.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like,
So I've, especially in the last couple weeks, I've just really learned to accept it. I went to the doctors. I'm like, do blood tests. There's something wrong with me. I'm seeing my psychiatrist. He's like, no, you're just seeing the world. Like, it's just, and but then there is some people that say, oh, it's just that thing in your head. So
yeah. Wow.
I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna live my life, and I like the
Yeah.
way I feel, so I'm not gonna question it anymore.
Right. And I guess too, like you could always like turn it off, right? Like if you did get to a point where you're like, you know
Yeah,
what?
but I don't know. I don't. I wouldn't want to.
Right, because it's helping you. It's helping you, so you wouldn't want to do that.
Mhm.
What do you want to tell the person that's considering this? They've been struggling for years, like you had. Maybe they have like liver problems, other body problems from their drinking, and they've been in and out for what do you want to tell that person that's considering or wants to get this done?
Just that it's not scary. And again, like the doctors weren't even going to operate on me. I was so sick. And I came out and I'm doing better than ever. I feel better than I've ever felt in my whole entire life. So, I mean, I would tell everybody to do it if it was an
Right,
option for everybody.
right. So, going back to like your experience with having the device and then also being in 12-step programs and kind of like, you said that you're more like open-minded with spiritual intervention and stuff like that. How has that kind of changed your outlook on your sobriety on top of having the treatment? I guess what I'm asking more specifically is do do the DBS and like spiritual intervention, do they kind of like work hand in hand together? Um, is that might be a better way to ask.
I'm just trying to, it's almost like I want to live. Well, I'm trying to live as if this thing doesn't exist in me anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm going to stop questioning it and stick with the spiritual side and just stick with the 12 steps. I mean, I wouldn't have
Right.
been able to have that open mind towards all of that if it wasn't for the DBS. So that's where things are get a little confusing, but
Right.
I am just going to try and just, okay, whatever it's doing its job, and I'm just going to keep going on with life. Like, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So what do you see for yourself like in the upcoming years in terms of like your sobriety and stuff like that? Like, because I know you've kind of struggled for a bit now with alcoholism and stuff. Like, are you kind of in this place now where you're like, okay, like I can be sober for a while, or are you still kind of like in and out a little bit like you had been previously?
No, I love sobriety. Like
Right.
it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, this is what people talk about when they say you can get high on life, because some days I actually feel like I'm intoxicated or on drugs. And
That's
I'm
amazing. That's
like, this is
amazing.
life, right? Everything's just so
Yeah.
much brighter. Like I would not give that up for anything.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And so the future, I don't know. I mean, I just want to help people and hopefully go somewhere like to show people that DBS is not it's not scary. It's an
Yeah.
option.
Yeah. I just want to note too that it's so interesting that, what was your liver, like what stage of liver you were in liver failure before the surgery, right?
Uh, pretty much.
Or
Pretty
were
much.
your enzymes just either way? It's like your liver enzymes were elevated, you knew there was a problem there. You knew your
Hmm.
drinking was the culprit, and even all of that information wouldn't keep you from not drinking, even when your body was actively failing itself. So, but compared to the deep brain stimulation placement, that was the thing that actually got you to like, it seems like from what you're saying, take a step back and be like, okay, like maybe there is a problem here. Maybe I should be more open-minded to 12 step. Maybe I should be more open-minded to spiritual intervention, to prayer, to journaling, to all these different things. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah, like that's
It
wild
is.
because
It
like,
is. And but it's like it's an eye opener. It's like, wow, like I should be dead
yeah,
right now. And just like who came up with this? Who invented this?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's insane. Like it is insane.
Do you look back? I'm curious if you like okay, so sometimes like now that I've been sober for a little bit and like my life's totally changed, sometimes I'll look back on my using and my years of addiction and I'll be like, I can't believe that like I was doing that. Like I can't believe
I
that
don't even I
you
don't
know what
even
I mean?
think it's me. I
Yeah,
don't remember like
yes, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Like you look back and you're just like I can't believe I was doing that, right? So you get those thoughts about yourself like pre-surgery.
all the time. I have to go back and say, wow, a year ago I was in the hospital getting a blood transfusion and now I'm walking like 5 hours straight, like just going and dancing down the street. Like
Wow.
how do you go
Wow.
from one extreme to the other?
Yeah. Wow. That is like very, very powerful.
Hmm.
Wow. So, is there anything else that you want to, say about this? I mean, listen, in 10 years from now, like this could be being offered to people, all over the world. This is still very new. And I am just like, I also want to thank you too for reaching out to me, because like you said, there's only been 8 people that this has been, um, actively done on, and you just happen to be one of those people, and we happen to connect. Very great. And I happen to be sober and interested in neurosurgery. I don't know if there's anybody else that's like, I'm not sure, like I feel like my situation is also pretty unique, and just the fact that the both of us kind of connected. I mean, for me, like when my head goes right to God, I'm like, oh, there's just no way. Like
Yeah.
this conversation is like, this was on God's schedule and we're just attending. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. We don't
Yeah.
even live in the same country.
Yeah,
So
matter of fact, he probably like wrote all the questions that I just asked. I don't even know if I wrote them. Um, so yeah, that's just been really, really cool. And I know I shared with you on the phone too, and I guess I'll just share it here again, but sometimes I have some thoughts of like I'm like maybe I should do addiction medicine and not neurosurgery just because my experience with addiction and stuff like that. And sometimes like I have trouble like thinking of ways where I could like connect the two. And obviously I have the Instagram and coaching and all that. So I do get a good dose of that. But you know, you reached out to me like right in the middle of one of those like I don't want to call it like a just one of my internal like combats with that idea of like I don't really know like you know I love neurosurgery but can I tie the addiction into it? And obviously like I knew DBS was
Mhm.
something that was on the come up for addiction treatment. So just crazy timing that you ended up reaching out to me at that time about DBS. So
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
yeah. So is there anything else that, you know, you want to say about DBS? I mean, I imagine that, you know, some people watching this video are, you know, this is all new information to people. I doubt, you know, if I wasn't in medical school and interested, if I wasn't even if I was in medical school and like not interested in neurosurgery, I would have no idea like what this was. So I'm assuming
Mhm.
most of the people watching this also don't know what it is, unless it's somebody that's like thinking about getting it and doing their research. You know, and there's a good chance that they're going to stumble across this video. So I really want to give you the opportunity to really share your thoughts if there's anything else that you want to tell people about this.
I think I pretty much said everything so far that I wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that's I think
And I
I
was
tried that.
making another video at my 1 year mark and see where I'm at. We can
We
keep up with
should.
the progress.
Yeah, we are definitely gonna have to schedule that. Yeah. All right. Well, you know, I tried to do my best with asking these questions. I hope that I asked. This is actually my first time like being the interviewer. Usually I'm being like I'm on somebody else's podcast. So yeah, I hope I did a good job. I tried my best. But no, seriously, Francine, like it was amazing talking to you and thank you for, you know, wanting to connect and being so passionate about this treatment too, you know, in a time where it's like, you know, there's not a lot of evidence on it yet, you know. So, you know, you're speaking on it so positively based on your experience with it, even though there's not like yet a lot of evidence backing it, which just shows like the potential benefit that this could really have on this specific population. There's a lot of people struggling with addiction, a lot of people. It is a common thing. And, you know, a lot of people need
Hmm.
help. And for a lot of people, like the 12-step programs don't do it. You know, the Suboxone doesn't do it. The methadone doesn't do it. Or maybe it does it and it has terrible side effects. And these guys are just like, they're sober, but, you know, they're still homeless and they're still not motivated. And they, like you're saying, like you're going on like these crazy walks every day when you used to be in liver failure. Like that's what's, in my opinion, that's what recovery is supposed to feel like. Recovery is you're supposed to feel like you're
Hmm.
living a life that you are unqualified to live. And if there's a treatment option out there for people that can allow more people to live that way, it is going to have a massive impact on addiction. And with DBS specifically, you know, my mind always goes to the section in the big book where it talks about, I don't know what page it's on, but it says science may one day accomplish this, but it has not done so yet. And I think it's really, really inspiring that you know, this is being offered to potential candidates and that you know you've had from what it sounds like an amazing experience off of this treatment. It's truly inspiring to hear and just I mean I don't see why people wouldn't be excited about this, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people struggling out there and I think that people
Yeah, there
yeah go
have
ahead.
no, like there has been people that, like, say I went to detox with or even treatment with, and they're like, I want what you have. And it's like, well, you can get it, but it's
Yeah,
the surgery part people are so afraid of. And it really isn't anything. Like or your brain has no nerve ending. So that you don't even feel anything.
right,
And the
right,
only reason why I had a little bit of discomfort with the battery part was it was just positioned a little off, and
right,
they went back in and readjusted it, and now I don't even notice it's there. So
right, right. I was gonna ask something. Oh, if you don't mind me asking, what was the financial piece of all this like? If you're comfortable sharing.
I didn't pay
Was
anything for it.
You didn't pay anything for it? I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Canada's healthcare is a little bit different than the US in the sense that I'm not familiar with it to like speak on it enough, but I
It
believe that
is, it's different, but with this, because it's still in trial, like they do need like donations or grants or
right,
whatever they
right.
have to do.
But that didn't have anything to do with coming out of your pocket. That's something that they
No,
get from the
no,
government. Yeah. Yeah.
no.
Because I'm just thinking of potential ways that this would like if the research does show that this is a viable means of treatment and let's say it gets accepted, in the places like the US and stuff like that, I'm thinking about like cost, because obviously that would be another barrier, you know, keeping people from having access to something like that. So, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how all this stuff plays out. And for people that don't know too, maybe it might be just useful to say, so deep brain stimulation surgery is used heavily for things like Parkinson's. There are other treatments. I'm blanking on the other ones beside Parkinson's. I know that's like the biggest one, but this is definitely like being used and very, very useful and effective in other diseases such as Parkinson's disorder. So, basically, from my understanding, people are just beginning to try DBS out on other conditions, such as mental health disorders like addiction, just to see if it's also would be a viable therapy for those other things. So.
Yeah, I think they do it for dystonia, seizures. Like there's a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. Well, yeah, it was great having you on. I'm sure we're gonna be in touch for a good bit. We've already built quite the relationship, I feel like. So, yeah, just, really again grateful for you coming on and grateful to finally be able to hear the full extent of your story. And yeah, really excited to get this out to people and to have for people to have access to, hearing about this from the person who actually, struggled with the addiction and got the surgery. So, all right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.